I'm Mark. Welcome to another episode of Coming Soon, in which I talk to you about discs, Blu-rays, DVDs that are coming soon. So I just have a little stack of things that have arrived in my mailbox over the last week from various cool cult labels that I deal with to review. And as I always say, if you don't know it by now, if this is the first time you've watched one of these, if you look in the notes below here on the YouTube, or go to YouTube and look at the notes below, I have all the links for Amazon buying links for these, which usually will give you a 20-30% discount and all that stuff. And I have all of the actual release dates, which I don't have off the top of my head, but these are all things that will be coming out in, let's say, April, May, June of 2024. So off the top of the stack, I'm looking at this stuff for the first time. We have from Radiance Films, Misunderstood. Little Misunderstood. I know nothing about this, so let us read from the little slipcase thing here. We have a World English Subtitle Blu-ray premiere. John Duncombe returns home from his wife's funeral, so it's a comedy. His two children unaware of their mother's passing. He makes the decision to tell his eldest son, Andrea, but hides the truth from his sickly younger son, Milo. Director Luigi Comincini, The Sunday Woman, which was very good, which I did review on the YouTube channel, also out from Radiance Films, captures the innocence and carefree moments of youth alongside the agonizing feelings of grief, creating one of the finest films about childhood, one to stand alongside the 400 Blows and the spirit of the Beehive. This has, for extras, this is 104 minutes from 1966, color, Italian language, English subtitles, 1:6:1, widescreen mono. It's a new 2024 2K restoration from the original negative, uncompressed mono, PCM audio interview with co-screenwriter Piero Di Bernardi and Cristina Comincini, interview with critic Michael Ciment, Ciment, C-I-M-E-N-T. A Child's Heart, visual essay by David Cairns on Comincini. Trailer, newly translated English subtitles, thank you, because some of the older translations are a little rough, shall we say. Reversible sleeve featuring designs based on original promotional material. Limited edition booklet featuring new writing by critic Manuela Lazic. And newly translated archival interview with Comincini. Radiance Films, this is region A and B, which means if you are in the US or the UK, this will play for you fine in your players. Otherwise, other parts of the world, you'll need an all-region player. Radiance is a UK-based company. If you don't know Radiance, they put out a lot of really interesting things like this that are deeper cut world cinema releases that are films of a very high quality that oftentimes have never been released in the US, or at least have not been released in the US in a format looking as good as these. So let's see what this looks like on the inside. For those of you who love the sound of crinkling, there we are. So we pop it open, the disc, we've got the booklet, disc there. Take the disc out carefully and take the booklet out, and we see what looks like probably the original poster art. And then the booklet, the Radiance booklets are always really substantial. So images, usually the images in these books too come from the actual scan, the new scan of the 35 millimeter negative. So the image quality of the booklet is representative of the image quality on the film. And it's a lot of words, a lot of pictures. So that is Misunderstood, coming soon. Also from Radiance Films, we have a world Blu-ray premiere. That's the whole world of The Shape of Night. Again, I know nothing about this, so let's find out together. A young woman falls in love with a handsome hoodlum who pushes her into a life of prostitution. So again, another comedy. When his sleazy superiors catch sight of her, she finds herself trapped inside the gaudy maze of city nightlife. The Shape of Night was made as a reaction to the radical film styles of Japanese New Wave, the lush cinematography full of saturated colors, and its lyrical story of inescapable tragedy have drawn comparisons to Douglas Sirk and established it as a precursor to the films of Wong Kar-wai. Visual essay by Tom Mess, interview with Yoshio Nakamura, Easter egg. It's cool that they say that there's an Easter egg. See, I'm an old style guy. I remember when Easter eggs were very common on discs, so every disc I get, I still go through every button on the menu, and it's up, down, left, right, to see what you can find, because it's still fun to find out. Booklet with new writing by Chuck Stevens, reversible sleeve, limited edition, 3,000 copies. There's the back. And sometimes you look at these Radiance things and you're like, why do they cover up the artwork or the title? This little thing inside here, it's a sort of like the Japanese obi strips that come in Japanese DVDs, CDs, LPs. You can slide that out and get rid of it or do whatever you want with it. This is also region A and B. Looking at the inside, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. We have, again, the discs, Radiance doesn't do anything fancy with the surface of their disc, the non-playable surface. And then we look at what is an approximation of the original poster art there. And that's just what the reversible cover looks like. And then we have a booklet, which again, very sizable booklet with a lot of high quality photos and writing in it that is coming soon. Look at the link below, because I don't know the date, from Radiance Films. Radiance numbers their releases too. This is Radiance number 52 and Misunderstood is Radiance number 51. So the next two Radiance releases. Then, speaking of classy films, Full Moon Productions, Full Moon Features as they're now called, the Charles Band company that just has been a runaway train of fun, goofy, weird, semi-disreputable genre cinema since the 80s, releases SHADOWZONE Remastered. They're doing this. I've just reviewed Seed People Remastered. They're taking discs that they've previously put out on DVD or Blu-ray and really going back to the source materials and giving you the best possible quality copy of films like SHADOWZONE, looking like you've never seen them before. So this is Beyond Alien, Beyond the Thing. So my friends and I used to have this thing. We used to say, they have this series of things called You Know Your Movie Sucks When. And it was always, one of those things was never reference a better film. Now, I'm not saying SHADOWZONE isn't good, because I honestly have not seen this since I was in high school, but it's one of those things that it was always funny to see old exploitation art where it's like, first came The Exorcist, then came The Omen. Now get ready for Kathy's Curse. And the third thing was never as good as the previous two. Anyway, Beyond Alien, Beyond the Thing, from director J.S. Cardone, The Slayer, The Forsaken, comes SHADOWZONE, one of Full Moon's most acclaimed 90s shockers. Oh, there's no that. It's just the apostrophe in front of the 90s. One of the most acclaimed 90s shockers from Full Moon. On the dark side of dreams, a new terror takes shape. There has been a gruesome death at Project SHADOWZONE. But that's just the beginning. A group of NASA hypersleep researchers are conducting tests in an abandoned underground facility in the Nevada desert. One subject has died during the test, and NASA has sent Captain Hickok, David Beecroft, to investigate. What he finds is more horrific than death itself. The scientists, guided by Dr. Earhart, Academy Award winner Louise Fletcher from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, have broken the boundaries of the dream state sleep and have tapped into a parallel dimension, ushering in an evil alien being that can assume any life form it chooses. Can our heroes survive the horror of the SHADOWZONE? I remember renting this with friends. My friends and I in high school used to rent movies on Friday night, and we would go for just goofy, fun stuff. It was horror, exploitation, sleaze, comedy, action, whatever. And SHADOWZONE was one that we rented. And for years, my friend Matt would make fun of this film. Not make fun of the film, but he would make reference to the videotape, because at the beginning, there were all these ads for Full Moon merch. Charles Band has always been very savvy in merchandising his films. And one of the things you could buy was SHADOWZONE lab coats. So you could get your very own SHADOWZONE lab coat at one point. Miguel Nunez Jr., Return of the Living Dead, also stars in this chilling imaginative classic presented here, totally remastered from the original camera negative. That was the deal with Seed People as well. It had been released by Full Moon earlier, and it looked, as good as maybe the Laserdisc did in its day. They're going back to the negatives on a lot of these, and they're putting them in widescreen, because a lot of these films were straight to video in America, so 4x3 square, to play on cable and videotape, which was the medium of the day. But they were released theatrically overseas, so most were shot with an idea that they would be masked off for widescreen. So these new remastered editions, you're getting the widescreen version, so the composition looks correct in your TV. Now, if you grew up with SHADOWZONE on tape and in the unremastered versions and on cable, you may be like, where's all that headroom? Why can't I see the knees anymore? They really kind of were composed, for the most part, originally to have better composition, shall we say. So I would argue that some of these remastered versions are probably closer to what the directors really wanted them to look like. I'm sure they shot them in a way that would look fine in 4x3, but would also look good in the theaters. So you may want to hold on to your old copies, but if you want it to fill your screen and not have to zoom in on it and have the quality be good, these remastered editions from Full Moon are the way to go. The special feature is the original trailer and Full Moon trailers. So this is 1080p HD. It's rated R. It is 88 minutes. Full Moon didn't mess around. To me, still, 90 minutes is kind of the sweet spot for most films. And Full Moon knew that. So very rarely did they crack 90. It is 2.0 or 5.1 audio, 1990, 178 aspect ratio. So it's just going to fill your TV screen. It is a region-free Blu-ray. So from Poughkeepsie to Paris, you can throw this disc, you buy this disc somewhere in the US or wherever you buy it, you can buy this disc, throw it in your Blu-ray player, it'll work just fine. Oh, I dropped it. That's the chair, I swear. And no need for an all-region player if you live out of the US for this. So we crack it open, and nothing fancy inside, just nice little artwork on that. That's SHADOWZONE Remastered, coming soon. Look below for the date of when that's coming soon. From 88 Films, we get See She, Beauty of Beauties. Chinese film. It was 5 wins, including Best Feature Film in the Golden Horse Film Festival in its year of production. And let's see, what do we have here? It was one of the most ambitious films made in the Taiwan film industry in the 1960s. After leaving the Shaw Brothers studio in Hong Kong and moving to Taiwan, filmmaker Li Han-sang embarked on this historical epic. So it's a historical epic. I'm finding out as well as you are. Told through the story of He She, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, or Si She, one of the 4 great beauties of Chinese history. The film portrays the war between the 2 Chinese kingdoms during the Warring States period, 475 to 221 BC. So no cell phones in this film. The film was produced on a truly vast scale to bring its history to life in vivid color. I can't wait to watch this. It swept the Golden Horse Awards in 1965, equivalent of Hong Kong Academy Awards, and is presented here in the only surviving version lovingly restored in 4K from its original camera negative. Special features include brand new 4K transfer from the original negatives, as I just said, 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio, 2.0 Mandarin mono, newly translated English subtitles, thank you, appreciated, an interview with Oriental cinema expert Tony Raines, who's always very intelligent and informed, original trailer, restoration comparison. I love that. I love seeing how much work has been done and what magic restorationists, preservationists can do with material that's less than pristine and make it so that you would never know there was anything wrong with it. Reversible sleeve, including new artwork by Sam Green and original poster art. It is 155 minutes approximately, 2.39 widescreen mono, Mandarin, English subtitles from 1965, region A and B once again, because like Radiance 88 Films is a UK-based company, and it's easier for them to just author these masters in the UK to play here where they have a market and there where they have a market. Anywhere else in the world, you're going to need an all-region player. And let's see. So that's the slipcase. The slipcase, as we all know by now, slips to reveal essentially the same artwork there and essentially more or less the same back cover. Crack it open, and 88 does this thing where it looks like a black case, but as you open it, it's more like a smoked look. So we have an approximation of the artwork on the disc. We have original poster art on the booklet cover, and if we take the disc out and we take the booklet out, we reveal, and I love it when they do this, the original poster art as a reversible cover. So as I say, what I like to do is I like to reverse that. So the slip cover with the new art is on one side, and when I take the disc out, I can see the original art. I'm particular that way. And then we have, again, like I said, with Radiance, they take stills from the new transfer of these a lot of the times, and you get a lot of pictures and a lot of words, and that's cool. And most of these booklets nowadays, unlike the earlier days where a booklet was something like, in the early days of DVD, booklets were sort of like special features. A special features chapter index. Ooh, you mean I can actually go from chapter to chapter? That's not a special feature, that's a standard feature. A lot of times the booklets back then would be just replications of either the chapter index or a picture or just a picture of the cover. Again, they were kind of useless. Booklets now tend to be done when they warrant it. So the information is original writing by noted historians in a lot of these booklets from these companies, these boutique companies now, and a lot of times it's information that's not just duplicating what's already in the special features of the disc, which I appreciate. So, now the last two here are from a company that I've wanted to get things from for years, but I never, for the longest time, I did not have an all-region player, and I never wanted to take that leap into all-region because I just didn't want to spend more money. I was like, eventually it'll come out in the US, and if it doesn't, I'll be spending less money. Now available in the US, much like 88 Films, much like Arrow, much like Indicator is now doing things in the US, Eureka. I didn't just have an idea. I'm saying the company's name is Eureka, a British company that's put out a ton of really great releases that if they come out here, it's by a different company and not with the same extras. The first two releases from the UK company Eureka in the US are Jet Li in Black Mask. I've actually never seen this, despite being a huge fan of Hong Kong films and martial arts films. This came out right at the tail end of when I was watching Hong Kong movies when they were becoming easily accessible for me, before they became super easily accessible. This did get a release in the US. It got a release in the US where they messed with the music and they recut it and they dubbed it and all that other stuff. This is not that. Although, hold on, it might also be. But this is the original version from Eureka. Nice slipcase, nice sleek slipcase. Jet Li stars in an action-packed superhero spectacle produced by the legendary Choi Hawk. Spelled, I used to mispronounce this like so many before we had extras and interviews and commentaries. I pronounced a lot of Asian names wrong who were filmmakers. I called him Sui Hark. That's wrong. Choi Hawk. And I'll say it again. Choi Hawk is a librarian. Oh, he's actually in this too. That's great. Is a librarian who leads a quiet, unassuming life, or at least that's what he wants people to believe. In truth, he was once a member of the 701 Squad, a group of elite combatants produced by a failed super soldier project. I love this already. In kind with his former comrades, his central nervous system, this is great, has been altered to render him impervious to pain. This sounds like a film I'll be reviewing soon separately on the YouTube channel. When several of his fellow test subjects resurface and embark on a crime wave, the leadership of their former commander, Hung Kuk, portrayed by Patrick Lung, Choi is forced to use his extraordinary abilities once more. No, I'm sorry, I've been saying this wrong. Soi Chik, portrayed by Jet Li. It's not Choi Hawk. My eyes are bad. The font is tiny. Choi Hawk isn't in this film necessarily. The character I've been talking about is the character portrayed by Jet Li. So, Choi is forced to use his extraordinary abilities once more, donning a costume he sets out to face his past as the vigilante known as the Black Mask. So it's an action movie, superhuman sci-fi action movie with Jet Li as a character named Choi. Limited edition O-card slipcase featuring new artwork by Gregory. I'm talking about the special features now. This is a 2-disc edition, by the way, which I didn't mention. New slipcase, fully uncut Hong Kong version presented in 1080p from a 2K restoration. International export version presented in 1080p from a 2K restoration. Cantonese DTS HD MA 5.1 and optional Cantonese stereo audio for the Hong Kong version. Original English dub and alternate US release English dub for the export version. Optional English subtitles newly translated. Thank you for this release, Hong Kong version. Brand new audio commentary on the Hong Kong version by Asian film expert Frank Zhang, who's great. He's been on a ton of these things from all these companies. Let's see. Brand new audio commentary on the export version by action cinema experts Mike Leader and Arnie Venema, who's on a lot of these. Both of them are. Brand new interview with stuntman Mike Lambert. Brand new interview with film critic Andrew Heskins of Eastern Kicks. Brand new interview with Leon Hunt, author of Kung Fu Cult Masters from Bruce Lee to Crouching Tiger. Archival making of featurette, trailers, plus a limited edition booklet featuring new writing by James Oliver and Simon Abrams. Limited edition bonus disc. The Taiwan cut. So there's 3 versions of this movie out here. Extended version of the film prepared exclusively for release in Taiwan. The extended cut, a version of the film that incorporates... There's 4 versions of this film on here. A version that incorporates all unique footage from the various releases. Original Mandarin audio and optional alternate Mandarin audio with remixed audio and effects for the Taiwanese version. Cantonese audio for the extended version. Wow, this is insane. This is directed by Daniel Lee. Why did I say Choi Hawk? Boy, I'm scratch all that other stuff. Research. Directed by Daniel Lee, this film. 1996, Hong Kong, 99 minutes, at least the Hong Kong version is. 1.85 original aspect ratio, and it contains 2 Blu-rays. That says Blu-ray Region B. Well, we'll get into that. I think that might be a typo here. So, what we have here is a slipcase which slips off to reveal the original poster art, similar to, I believe, what the U.S. poster art or the video art. I don't know that this really played theaters in the U.S. This might have just been one of those that Weinstein or whoever bought and or Miramax bought and threw straight to home video. It's one of these cases with the little flippy floppy for the 2 discs. We have a reversible cover, or we have image under the cover, so you get like a little superhero guy there, which you probably can't see on camera. And disc 2, I will confirm, is Region A. Disc 1, I will confirm, is Region A. And there's just nothing under the disc there. It's just black. So that was a typo or a leftover, I think, from the Hong Kong, leftover from the UK edition of this. They just didn't change it for printing. And then we have a nice little booklet, nice glossy little booklet here with a lot of writing, a lot of pictures. which you can't read on camera. So this, very excited for this. I've never seen this movie. It's one that everybody talks about when they talk about Jet Li, and I'm thrilled that there are 4 versions of this in this new Eureka edition, or Eureka really coming out of the gate with a bang. The other release that Eureka has put out is from their Masters of Cinema series, The Cat and the Canary. This is a famous, infamous, legendary horror film from the early days of horror from 1927. So I'm not even sure that this is a sound film. This is a silent film, just so you know. So Cat and the Canary. Paul Lenny, the man who laughs, directs one of the most important and influential films in the early history of American genre cinema, which perfected the old dark house formula and set the stage for the universal horror cycle of the 1930s. 20 years after the death of millionaire Cyrus West, his surviving relatives are called together in a decaying mansion on the Hudson River. Very close to where I'm recording this, actually. There, they gather to hear West's lawyer, Roger Crosby, portrayed by Tully Marshall, read his last will and testament and discover that West has left everything to his niece, Annabelle, Laura LaPlante. This, at least, on the condition that they put the font on cases now so tiny. This, at least, on the condition that she be judged legally sane as the family settles in for the evening. Tensions rise when they are informed that a murderer nicknamed the Cat has escaped from a nearby asylum and is suspected to be somewhere on the grounds. Crosby soon disappears in a mysterious circumstance, which proves to be just the first in a series of horrifying events that will punctuate a long, dark night of terror, during which Annabelle's sanity will be called into question again and again. Based on the 1922 stage play, The Cat and the Canary is a perfect blend of horror and black comedy and stands as the apex of a cycle of films adapted from mystery plays throughout the 1920s. It later inspired James Whale's The Old Dark House and has been remade several times but never bettered. This Masters of Cinema series is proud to present this cornerstone of horror cinema for the first time ever on Blu-ray worldwide from a glorious 4K restoration. The special Blu-ray edition, they may also have this out on DVD. Limited edition O-card featuring a new artwork by Graham Humphreys, 1080p presentation on Blu-ray from a 4K digital, restoration of the original negatives supplied by the Museum of Modern Art, DTS HD MA 5.1 score by Robert Israel, compiled, synchronized, and edited by Gillian B. Anderson based on music cues sheets compiled and issued to the original 1927 release. So when this originally came out, it was silent, and there was a music score that was provided to whoever was the piano or organist in the theaters to play along. This replicates the experience of seeing it when it first came out. You're hearing that original version. A lot of times people now will do live organ accompaniment for silent films, and they're masters of what they do, and they just improvise a score as they go along. But this is, on this disc, the original score that came along with it. Brand new audio commentary by author Stephen Jones and author critic Kim Newman. Brand new audio commentary by Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby. Mysteries Mean Dark Corners. Brand new video essay by David Cairns and Fiona Watson. Pamela Hutchinson on The Cat and the Canary. Brand new interview with writer and film critic Pamela Hutchinson. Fionn Lee on, tiny print. Fionn Lee on The Cat and the Canary. Brand new interview with film critic Fionn Lee. A Very Eccentric Man and Yeah, a Cat, extracts from John Willard's original play. Lucky Strike, Paul Lenny gives a full-throated endorsement to the product that got him through filming The Cat and the Canary, plus a collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by Richard Combs, Craig Ian Mann, and Sean Smith. I need to get thicker glasses. Sorry about the stumbling. So it is from 1927, American, 86 minutes, 137 original aspect ratio. So it's square, original Academy ratio. 1080p AVC encode, and it contains one Region A Blu-ray. So if we look inside the package, that's the slip case, which slips off to reveal essentially the same thing, front and back. We open it up. The disc is a tasteful disc, tastefully done art on the disc. We take the booklet out and we see a replication, which I love, a recreation of the original poster art, which I appreciate because I can't afford an original poster. And then we have the booklet, which looks a little something like this. Relatively thick booklet too. And it is filled with writing and photos and original press materials, and I love that stuff. So all of these are coming soon. As I said, look at the notes under this video to see when they're coming out, release dates, releasing companies, and Amazon buying links. If you use those Amazon buying links, if you use any Amazon buying links in my YouTube videos, I get a little percentage of that sale. You don't pay any more. You actually usually save because Amazon almost always has stuff on some kind of a discount. And I get a little bit of money so I can keep buying, cool t-shirts and stuff. So until next time, I am Mark, and I will see you the next time I have anything that is coming soon.